There's 138 notes on a guitar. The key to mastering guitar is learning where these notes are and how they all work together, but there's one problem. It's freaking hard to memorize the notes on a fretboard. I'm going to show you a ridiculously easy system that I use to find any note on the guitar. This little trick took me years to learn, but I simplified it so I can show you in just one video. Alright, let's start with the most important thing that this whole system is built on, the musical alphabet, which goes from A to G and just repeats over and over. If we look at this on a piano, all of these notes are on the white keys. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it just repeats over and over. These black keys are what we call sharps and flats. A sharp is labeled with a number sign or a hashtag for all you youngsters, and a sharp just means you go up one note. So if this is an A, then this is an A sharp, and a flat means you go down one note, so if this is a B, then this is a B flat.
Aren't those the same note?
So yes, A sharp and B flat are the same note, and I know that's a little confusing, but you're only gonna use sharps or you're only gonna use flats. You're not gonna use both. Now let's go up all the notes just using sharps for now. You have A sharp, B. Now this one doesn't have a black key next to it, so we're gonna go straight from B to C. Then you have C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and again, this one doesn't have a black key, so we'll go straight from E to F. And then you have F sharp, G, G sharp, and then we're back at A. And then the whole thing just repeats again. So from A to A, including all the white keys and the black keys, you have a total of 12 notes, and these 12 notes start back at A again and just repeat over and over.
Dude, why are you using a piano? We're not nerds. This is a guitar tutorial.
I know this is a guitar tutorial, but I think seeing it on a piano just makes way more sense. It's easier to understand, especially for visual learners. All right, now let's go backwards, and we're gonna use flats instead this time. So we have A flat. Now, what would this note be? If you look at the musical alphabet again, you know that one note down from A is G. So G, G flat, F. Now we don't have a black key, so we'll go straight from F to E, and then E flat, D, D flat, C, and again, no black key, so from C to B, down to B flat, and then we're back at A. Now, for all you theory nerds out there, you know that sometimes C is referred to as a B sharp, depending on what scale you're using or what key you're in. And the same thing goes for the other ones that I said don't have black keys next to them, so F, E, and B. Sometimes those are referred to as E sharp, F flat, and C flat, but I really want to keep this video as simple and beginner friendly as possible. So for now, we'll just call them C, F, E, and B, and I can go into more detail on that in future videos. Now, if that was confusing, I made a little cheat sheet for you so you can memorize these, and everything I talk about in this video will be in there. So just click on the link in the description and you can download your free copy. All right, so just to recap, there's 12 notes total. The musical alphabet goes from A to G and repeats, and you have sharps and flats in between. All right, now that we got the musical alphabet down, you need to understand this for the trick I'm about to show you. The distance between this A and this A is called an octave. Oct means 8, so like an octopus has 8 legs, an octagon has 8 sides. An octave is 2 notes that are 8 notes apart from each other. The first note and the 8th note are the same note letter, so A and A, but this A just sounds higher than this A. And then if I go up another octave from there, this A sounds even higher.
But what about all those black keys? Doesn't that make it more than 8 notes?
Yes. If we include the sharps and flats, it's actually 12 notes total before we get back to A. But there's only 8 notes in a scale. But that's for another video. So for now, just remember that an octave is 2 notes with the same letter name that are 8 notes apart.
Wait, didn't you say there's 138 notes on the guitar?
So there are only 12 unique notes in music, but on guitar, you can play these notes in multiple different places. Plus, you can play the same note in higher or lower octaves, giving you 138 different options, at least for this guitar. Some guitars might have even more if they have more frets than this. The frets, by the way, are just these little metal lines, in case you didn't know. All right, so now let me show you how to apply all this to the guitar. We're gonna start with the A string first. By the way, if you don't know the names of the strings, just remember, even after dinner, giant boys eat. So E, A, D, G, B, E. So we're gonna start on the A string and memorize the pattern for the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G with no sharps or flats for now. So if you play your A string open, that's your A, and then B is on the 2nd fret. Now for the way my brain works, I like to see patterns. I'm very visual, so the next 3 notes are all gonna be on the dots. Open, 2nd fret, dot, dot, dot. So that's A, B, C, D, E. If your guitar doesn't have a dot on the 3rd fret, just remember the frets 3, 5, 7. So mess around with those until you have them memorized and say them out loud while you play it, because that helps. But try doing them in that order and then start changing the order around until you know them really well. So I call these dots and these spaces. So the F is gonna be on a space and the G is gonna be on the next space. So the 8th fret and the 10th fret, F and G. So if we put it all together, you have A, B, C, D, E, and then F and G. And then when you get to the 12th fret, which is these 2 dots, we're all the way back to A again. You remember that octave I showed you? So the A on the 12th fret is 1 octave higher than the A string open. So no matter what string you're on, the 12th fret is always gonna be the same note as the open string when you play it without pressing any frets down. It's really easy to figure out these high notes if you just think about the 12th fret like the open string and the 13th fret like the 1st fret and the 14th fret like the 2nd fret, and so on. So if you memorize that little pattern I showed you with the dots and spaces, the dots are going to be in the exact same place up here. So A, B, dot, 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 A, B, C, D, E. It's the same thing up here. A, B, dot, 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 A, B, C, D, E. And then we have F and G on the spaces. Now all this is going to be covered in that cheat sheet, but you also might want to watch this video a few times and just let it really sink in. And once you get this part down, the trick I show you is going to be super easy. Now if we look at the low E string, we're going to start on the E in the musical alphabet and go up from there. So E, F, G, A, B, C, and so on. E is open, and then F is on the 1st fret, and then you have dot, dot, dot. Open, 1st fret, dot, dot, dot. So E, F, G, A, B. And then we go to a space on the 8th fret for C, and a space on the 10th fret for D. And then we're back to E on the 12th fret. So all together we have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And once again, the pattern just repeats up here. So E, F, dot, dot, dot. So E, F, G, A, B. And then you have C and D. Now, the best way to learn things in general is to just take it in small little chunks before you even move on to the next part, because it's just too overwhelming to try to do it all at once. So when you practice this stuff and study that cheat sheet, take it in small chunks, one thing at a time, and once you get that one part down, then move on to the next part, and then just repeat that process. All right, now that you have a good understanding of where A, B, C, D, E, F, G is on those two strings, we're gonna fill in the in-between notes with the sharps and flats, and then I'll show you this trick. Let's start on the A string and go up using sharps only. A sharp, B, then it goes straight to C, and then C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and then straight to F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then we're back to A on the 12th fret. And then it just repeats up here. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, and so on. For the E string, we have E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and then we're back to E on the 12th fret. And then it just repeats up here. So if you were using flats, just remember that a flat goes down one note. So if you're trying to figure out this note on the A string and you know that this is a D, well, one note down from D is D flat. And on the E string, if you know this is an A, then this would be A flat. I'll put the flats in the cheat sheet too, but I want to go ahead and show you this trick now. So once you know where the notes are on the E and the A string, you have a roadmap to find any note on the fretboard. If you play a note on the low E string, so let's use G for this example, on the 3rd fret, you go up 2 strings, 1, 2, and then up 2 frets, 1, 2. And that is a G 1 octave higher from this G. So that is the shape that you're going to use to find the octave. And we can use that exact same pattern on the A string too. So if we were to play a C on the A string, go up 2 strings and 2 frets, and that is a C an octave higher. And that works on any note on the 2 low strings. Now for the next 2 strings, it's gonna be that same pattern, except the high note is gonna be up 1 fret. So you'll go up 2 strings, but you're gonna go up 3 frets. So if we play the 5th note on the D string, which is a G note, and we go to this note, which is 2 strings higher, but 3 frets over, that is your G an octave higher. So G, G. And it's the same thing for the G string. This is a C, and this is a C an octave higher. But you wouldn't really need to do that example, because if you know the notes on the low E string, you automatically know the notes on the high E string. They're the exact same notes, just 2 octaves higher. So E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. They're the exact same notes. So just to recap, the 2 octave shapes are 2 strings up and 2 frets over for the E and A strings, and 2 strings up but 3 frets over for the D and G strings. So let's just pick a random note and see how this works. If we were to play this note on the D string, you could use this octave shape to go up here, but that doesn't really help if you don't know the notes on the B string. So you could use this octave shape to find out what that note is on the low E string. And if you know the notes on the low E string, you know that's an A, so this is an A. If we pick a random note on the G string, you could go an octave higher to see what that note is on the high E string. And remember, the notes on the high E string are the same as the low E string. So E, F, G, A, B. So that note is a B. You could also use the other octave to go down and figure out what that note is on the A string. So that's a B. If we pick a random note on the B string, we can go down an octave with this shape to figure out what this note is here. But if we don't know the notes on the D string, that doesn't help much. So let's take that note on the D string and go down another octave using this shape. And now we know that that note is an A because we know the notes on the E string. So as long as you know the musical alphabet and you know where those notes are on the 2 low strings, you can use those 2 octave shapes to find any note on the guitar. Well, kinda. So this won't work on the 1st and 2nd fret of the D string or the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fret of the B string. But if you know the open strings, even after dinner giant boys eat, just go up the musical alphabet starting from whatever note the open string is. So for the D string, even after dinner, so go up the musical alphabet. D, open, D sharp, 1st fret, E, 2nd fret. And then for the B string, even after dinner giant boys, go up the alphabet from B, B, C, C sharp, D. But those patterns will work for every other note. Click on the link to download your cheat sheet. Watch this video a few times and let it really sink in. And remember to take it in small little chunks when you're learning this stuff. I hope this video helped and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.